Hi, everyone. We're here at the September edition of the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver. I have Peter Latta, who is president of a brand new silver exploration company, SWLF, and we will talk all about their exciting project. Peter, thanks so much for being with us. Why don't we jump right into it?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Peter.
It's a pleasure. So tell us, SWLF has its flagship is the Ana Maria property. It is in Durango, Mexico. And maybe you can start by telling us how it came to be inside of SWLF, a little bit of the history of it, and we can take it from there.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have 3 claims, 2,500 hectare property. And it was originally, and it still is owned by Avino Silver and Gold. So SWLF has an option to acquire 100% of the property. And we're almost through that option. We have $400,000 left to pay for that option. But Avino has sat on this property for literally decades. And that's one of the things that excites me so much about this property is that it's never been kicked around by another public company, never been drilled before, almost no exploration work prior to it going into SWLF. So I'm the VP of Technical Services for Avino as well. And I went to David, who's the CEO of the company, and said, hey, you know, we've sold some non-core assets out of Avino, and we have these other assets that are sitting around. Why don't we vend them in or option them into a public company? And he agreed, and I told him I'd run it, and we were off to the races. So that was in 2020, and it took us 4 years to kind of do the background work, the field mapping, 1,500 plus samples, a lot of geological field days, months. Putting the drill targets together, and that's exactly where we are now. We just kicked off a 2,500 meter drill program, and that we are right at the start of.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. The next thing I want to ask you is, I mean, you've sort of touched on it a little bit, but what are the things that make it such an attractive discovery play? What is the setup like? What is the area like? What is a little bit of the history of it, and why does that make it exciting?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. So infrastructure one. So we're right off the main highway. Of course, with any mining project, any discovery project, you want the access to highways, power, water, that sort of thing. And that's exactly what we have. We're 15 minutes off the main highway, which is a fantastic location. There's a power line right there, and we have access to water, certainly as we drill, and we'll have for the project potentially. So the one is the location, 15 minutes outside of Torreon, close to an international airport. Fantastic location from an infrastructure standpoint. Torreon happens to be a major mining hub as well. It's the head office it's the location, the main location for Peñoles' head office. Peñoles is the largest mining company in Mexico. So a lot of mining history in the area. They actually built the city around a lead smelter there, believe it or not. So just a very ingrained history of mining with all the skills necessary that would be needed to run a drill program or a mining operation or whatever facilities are required to make that happen. A lot of mining in this particular area of Durango with an extensive history. And then, as I mentioned, the property's never been tested before. So it's sat dormant for years, which is, you know, this untapped potential. For reasons that Avino was tied up with their own property. So something that hasn't been tested before, using a very accepted theory with what's called the carbonate replacement deposit theory that was pioneered by Peter McGaw. We're using that as a basis for our discovery thesis. Excellent.
Now, one thing that I noticed when I did my own research on SWLF was that management is always key. And you certainly, management and people, let's say people in general, and certainly, you have a little bit of a who's who, working with you, and that's quite impressive, especially for the stage the company's at. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about who's involved in SWLF, how that came to be, and what that could mean.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a people-focused business. We're after rocks, but it's a people-focused business, as we know. And we definitely punch above our weight with the type of people that are involved. And that's just the history of Avino being in the area since 1968. David, the CEO and chairman of the company, has been around for 35 years in this business, and his father before him. So a lot of contacts. And that attracts all sorts of interesting people that have a lot of credibility. So David's been in the business 35 years. Our VP of Exploration, he is a Mexican national, educated at the Colorado School of Mines, credited with a number of discoveries with Lewisman. And then myself, I'm a professional engineer. Hans Catchbull, he's a PhD geologist, worked for Teck, was the VP Exploration for GR Silver. Stephen Williams is a director. He is the VP of IR for Lundin Mining, a $1 billion company. And we have a director like that, for our little company. Peter Schreiber, another guy, he started PI Financial here in Vancouver with Max Meyer, not an insignificant investment brokerage. We have a guy by the name of Vic Chevelon, who's made 3 discoveries to his name, the largest silver discovery in the world, the Cordero deposit. And so he's known David for years, and 72 years old. He's still going to the property. He's still visiting. He's still hiking the mountains with me. And really interested and keen and driven to make a discovery, as they all are. Another notable guy, Terry Solomon, gentleman, that incredible philanthropist and financier that's raised literally billions of dollars for companies like Silver Wheaton or Pan American Silver, has a wing of the hospital, Vancouver General Hospital, dedicated to him, a library. And, they're involved with this type of company because of the type of people we are, the type of values we represent, and, the opportunity, I think, as well.
Excellent. So that's certainly a feather in your hat for attracting that kind of management, directorship, and so on. Now, obviously, this is pre-discovery, so it's a higher risk. What kinds of steps have you taken to help mitigate risk as you move forward?
Yeah, so certainly the exploration stage companies in this sector is higher risk, but also higher return. The most amount of torque in the stock price is when you go from pre-discovery to discovery. And what you try and do as an exploration company is just minimize your burn rate. That's the focus. See if you can stretch out your cash as long as possible so you don't have to dilute shareholders, which I myself am a big part of. Management's not taking a salary, and we do that because we want to put all the money into the ground, be as efficient as possible with the capital until such time as we've created value and we can afford to do that. I get compensated with options and other things, but we're aligned with shareholders there to really reduce that burn rate and give us as much runway as possible to make that discovery and create that value.
Excellent. What's happening now? What kind of news flow can we expect over the next several months? And what will be the catalyst? Some of them are obvious, but I'll let you speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, no, the biggest catalyst is the drill program, and we've spent 4 years getting to this point. It's the most exciting time in the company's short history here. And the news flow, we have 15 to 17 drill holes planned. We're on the 3rd hole now. So the news flow will come out as it becomes available on the drill results. And we hope to have all those results out, hopefully by the end of the year, but it may leak into Q1.
How many holes in total are expected?
15 to 17 holes.
Okay.
We have 15 planned, and there's 2 extra,
right.
And, depending on how things go and what results we start seeing. But yes, 17 chances.
Excellent. Well, certainly a very exciting story. As you said, this is, perhaps the higher risk, but the higher potential reward as well in terms of, stages to be at. Certainly something for people to watch. I'm certainly going to be watching very closely on it as well, and excited to see how it develops.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Peter.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for being with us, and we look forward to catching up.